Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally live tonight for a little pre-race edition of a predictions video live stream for the Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief 400 at the Martinsville Speedway. A little delayed start. The race was supposed to get going approximately 7:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our pre-race was supposed to start at 7, but due to the rain delay at Martinsville, we started an hour earlier tonight. The track drying process is still currently going underway. Estimated start time for the race is going to be in roughly 20 minutes, so we'll get through this predictions video quickly and give you guys the last minute fantasy lineup advice for your guys' fantasy team. Potential bets, of course, for today's race as well, if you guys are betting men and women out there on this one. So quickly going to fly through this, and then we'll get the other live stream started for when the race does get underway. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into this live stream. We don't have picks tonight. We have two drivers who you guys should stay away from in your fantasy lineups. Chase Briscoe is going to be the first guy I'm going to talk about tonight. He qualified 19th and he was 13th in practice. He just looked like he unloaded pretty slowly. The last couple weeks have not really gone well for Chase Briscoe as far as race finish goes. He was outside the top 15 at both Circuit of the Americas and last week as well at Richmond. So I'm going to say a no-go for Briscoe. Of course, Richmond being the first points-paying track under a mile in length, and he was not very fast. There were a couple Stewart-Haas cars that were fast throughout the day. Almirola had speed at certain points, and obviously Kevin Harvick finished second. But Chase Briscoe was nowhere to be found in that one. He kind of dropped backwards from the get-go. And I am going to predict that he will not finish in the top 10 today. He will be the first don't have. The second one is going to be a bolder prediction, but I say Kyle Larson does not finish in the top 10 tonight. Larson only has 2 top 10 finishes in his last 9 starts at Martinsville. And on top of that, he only has 1 top 5 in his last 9 starts at Martinsville. Now, he was in the top 10 in practice and qualifying this week, but as far as recent success at Martinsville, really overall track success at Martinsville, this is definitely his worst short track. He tends to not really run as well in the flatter racetracks like this, New Hampshire, and some other of the flatter racetracks on the circuit. So I say that Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, don't put them in your fantasy lineups tonight. And now into the dark horse predictions. Dark horse picks tonight. 2 drivers that you may potentially put in your lineup and may potentially pull off an upset win tonight. If not an upset win, I think they will, at bare minimum, at least get a top 10 finish at the end of the day. Brad Keselowski is going to be the first guy I'm going to talk about. He was very fast this week with that number 6 team. Chris Buescher was also fast in practice and qualifying, but Keselowski has a lot better track success at Martinsville in recent years. 11 top 10s, 9 top 5s in the last 12 Martinsville races. Brad Keselowski has won 2 races in his Martinsville Cup Series career, and not only that, they were both in the spring in 2017 and 2019. He has led 719 combined laps at Martinsville in the last 10 Martinsville races, and he qualified 9th for this one, so he's already starting in the top 10. I think he'll stay there at least at the end of the race and get that top 10 finish. He hasn't had many of them this season, but I think this is a good run for Keselowski, and his comeback following that penalty a couple weeks ago that was also upheld earlier this week. He's obviously going to have to claw himself out of a pretty big points deficit if he doesn't go to victory lane. This may potentially be one of the best opportunities for him to win on a non-super speedway. AJ Olmendanger, believe it or not, is another driver who I predict to finish in the top 10 tonight. And Olmendanger's Cup Series starts at Martinsville. He has 8 top 11s in the last 12 Martinsville starts, and he has finished second twice in the Cup Series, both in spring races as well, in 2016 with JTG Doherty Racing and in 2012 with Penske. He did not qualify yesterday, but he did practice in at 11th fastest, so he does have a decent car this weekend, but he will have to start at the rear of the field. Look for AJ Allmendinger to compete for a top 10 today. Ran well, finishing in the top 5 in the Xfinity Series race as well yesterday, so he's got some extra track time on this weekend's racetrack compared to a lot of the other drivers in the Cup Series field. So thank you everybody again for tuning in. Comment in the chat down below what you think about that, about the dark horse and the don't have predictions. And while you guys do that, again, we'll quickly get into the must-haves. We're flying through this, but that's because we had a rain delay earlier, and I want to make sure I get this in before the command to start the engines goes, at least on my end. and that way we can get the other live stream up and running. So the two drivers that I have for the two drivers I have for the must-have picks you should absolutely have in your fantasy lineups tonight. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're going to start off with Martin Truex Jr. Truex has won 3 of the last 5 Martinsville races. He has led 754 laps over the last 5 Martinsville races, including those 3 wins as I just mentioned. And he has 7 top 5s, 8 top 10s in the last 9 Martinsville races as well. So even those 3 races he did not win, he is still finishing up in the top 5. He's scoring a lot of stage points. Martin Truex Jr. a little bit slower in practice and qualifying this week, so that's a bit concerning. Most of the Joe Gibbs Toyotas actually were outside the top 10 in practice and qualifying, or Toyotas in general, excluding Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell, but I think Truex will get up there eventually. He ran really well on a short track last week at Richmond, as well, and in that race he ended up with the top 5 finish, his first top 5 of the year. I think he definitely at bare minimum gets a top 10 today, and I think he'll score some stage points. He'll be a good start for your fantasy team. Chase Elliott is going to be my pick to win in tonight's race, and I think he has unloaded at least with the fastest car to start this race weekend for the Cup Series. He was fastest in both practice and qualifying yesterday, so he'll be starting from the pole today. And he's also got the statistical success over the last couple of years at this racetrack as well. He has led 575 laps in the last 6 Martinsville starts, and Chase Elliott has 6 top 10 finishes in those last 8 races, including a win in the fall race back in 2020. He also has 2 runner-up finishes, including one last season. So look out for Chase Elliott, ladies and gentlemen. He is my pick to win tonight, and we'll see if this will be the first race I predict correctly as far as the race winner goes on a week-to-week basis. And I believe in my preseason predictions video, I had Denny Hamlin winning, if I remember correctly. But I don't remember off the top of my head. I would have to go back and look at that at the end of the night. But thank you for everybody tuning in again. Sorry for the short prediction video here, but again, just trying to make sure everything is going to get lined up and ready to go right now. Just waiting for them to give the command, and then we'll start the next live stream, which will be the actual live race commentary live stream. So until then, comment in the chat below. What are your predictions? Who do you think is going to win this race? Do you like my predictions for tonight's race? Do you like the must-haves, the don't-haves, and so on and so forth? I'd like to hear from you guys down below. As far as the call-outs go, Santiago Kid, Derek Booth, Fur Express, Andy Patman, NASCAR Official 22, Daytona International Speedway, R6, thank you for all tuning in for this pre-race live stream, or if you guys were waiting, thank you for waiting around. Time is the race. I'm not sure exactly when it's scheduled to start. It actually looks like it's starting to rain again, unfortunately. Unless this is a pre-recorded interview with Daniel Suarez, I'm not entirely sure. But he's back by his motorhome right now. Most of the drivers were on pit road not that long ago. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm not listening to it right now. I guess I can. Maybe if I was listening to it, I'd have better detail. If Derek Booth is still down in the chat, let me know in the current track conditions. He's at the racetrack this weekend. He was at the Truck and the Xfinity race last night, and he'll be at the Cup race again tonight as well. Going for Alex Bowman. Not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick. What I think of Alex Bowman as far as this race goes, I think he could have a good solid run. He is on my fantasy team this weekend, so I definitely think he could have a solid run. I don't have him as a must-have, though, because he lacks consistency at Martinsville. A lot of the shorter tracks in general. Command at 820, okay. So I guess that's when we'll end this stream then. Yeah, again, comment down below. Last chance to set your fantasy lineups. Let me actually check real quick on the NASCAR website to see if it's locked. I don't know if it locked at its original start time or if they're giving you extra time because the race hasn't started yet. Looks like they're still giving you extra time to set your lineups. Race locks at 8:30, so at 8:30 it looks like that is when they are scheduled to go racing tonight, because that is when the fantasy league is locking up on the fantasy site. So it looks like 8:30 is when the race will start, which means definitely be starting that stream a couple minutes prior to that so we can get through the starting lineup on that side. Pick is Kyle Busch. Second place qualifying. Put him in 11th. Kyle Busch is second qual. I don't understand what you mean by they put him in 11th. Did he actually qualify second, or was he second in practice? Or was he second in the first group, and then the second group he was 11th? Keegan to walk 400 laps tonight. No, thank you. I'm currently not doing a whole lot of cardio right now. I'm trying to bulk up. I'll get my fair share of cardio in when golf season starts back up again. Derek, is it currently raining at the racetrack, or is this a pre-recorded interview I'm seeing with Daniel Suarez on Fox Sports 1 right now? Because I'm very confused. Because he's by his motorhome right now, and it is Jamie Little, or sorry, not Jamie Little, Jamie McMurray, Larry McReynolds, and Shannon Spake interviewing him currently. I know it looked like it was dry at least moments ago before I saw this interview. That's what's throwing me for a loop. 18 people watching right now. Thank you for everybody tuning in. We've already gone through our predictions for the pre-race. We'll have a quick look back at that once the actual live race commentary live stream begins. That is going to be scheduled for about 8:20, or at least this stream will end at 8:20, and then we'll start that stream as soon as I possibly can following the conclusion of this one. But comment down below, maybe thoughts on particular drivers down in the chat, or maybe who you think is going to win tonight's Cup race at Martinsville, as it seems as if we are going to get this thing underway tonight. It's not raining currently out, right? Well, that's good. I think they're scheduled for 8:30 start time as of right now. 8:20 command, 8:30 start time. Eastern Standard Time, of course. Then we'll get that raw feed up there as soon as that other stream starts. As long as Denny Hamlin doesn't call Bowman a hack. I don't like it at all. Can you imagine that 2 years in a row? Not even 2 years in a row. It'd be 2 Martinsville races in a row. Something like that would happen. Central Time is 7:30 for you. Yes. Central Time would be 7:30. Again, they are under a rain delay, but looking like we're going to get things started tonight at about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is about 50 minutes after the original start time. It's not too delayed of a start. Definitely could have been way worse. They could have been racing tomorrow instead of today, so looks like we're going to get a racing tonight. Buzzman, welcome to the stream. We are going racing tonight, 8:30. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And you can tune in on either Fox Sports 1, which is where the race will actually be airing tonight, or you can listen to my commentary during the live race commentary on another stream, which will be starting immediately after this one. So like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. If you have not already, you won't want to miss any of the action tonight. It's a cold one, about 45 degrees under the lights, similar to what it was last night. Maybe a little bit more damp tonight as they had much more rain. Elliott, Blaney, Kyle Busch, Hamlin, Byron are your 6 picks for your fantasy team, I'm guessing? That's not a bad fantasy team. It'll be interesting to see if Denny Hamlin can keep speed up, because he was pretty slow in practice and qualifying this week. And I know he won Richmond last week, but that 11 team's been off on speed most of the year. So even though they got that win last week, which was good they did, so they're locked into the playoffs, but they come right around this week, and it's just not looking great. NASCAR race usually starts at 7:30, but it starts 7:45. No, I mean, they're actually starting at 7:30. They already did all the pre-race ceremonies. That's why. I understand what you're saying, though, Santiago, because that usually starts 15 to 20 minutes after, like, the airtime starts. But it's a little different because they're on a rain delay right now. They're going to be given the command here within another minute or two. But yeah, the national anthem's already concluded. All they got to do now is fire the engines up. So we're going to end the stream as of right now. Tune in to the live race commentary live stream. The chat room is open for that one. Again, lastly, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. And as far as the predictions go, just to recap very quickly, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott were the 2 must-haves you should absolutely have in your fantasy lineups before they lock in about 10 minutes. Brad Keselowski, AJ Olmendanger, 2 dark horse picks. All 4 of those drivers I predict bare minimum at least top 10 finishes tonight. 2 drivers that I have predicted not to finish in the top 10 tonight is Chase Briscoe, even though he has won on a short track at Phoenix this season, and Kyle Larson, believe it or not. I also have him not finishing in the top 10 virtue of his prior Martinsville stats. So thank you again, everybody, for watching. Drivers climbing into their cars as we speak. The engines are about to be fired, and we will fire up that next live stream.